If you're somebody who is not currently dating the caliber of women that you know deep down you truly want, that's a problem. All right, because there is somebody out there in the world right now that looks exactly like you attractiveness wise, but his partner is at a much higher caliber of woman than what you have. And I want to share with you guys the process of how to start working your way up to more and more higher level, higher quality, higher caliber women in your life. I had a client recently, this was at the beginning of my coaching call. He told me that about 3 or 4 weeks ago, before working with us, he was barely approaching and he was having these short 1-minute interactions. And over the last month, he's gotten to a place where he's interacting with women on a daily basis, but more importantly, he's got a date lined up for Sunday with his dream 10. He ran a 20-minute in-person interaction with her that led to a phone number, that led to a date set up, and now he's at a place where he's gonna go on this date, and his new sticking point is, I'm nervous, I'm really nervous because I'm about to go on this date with a girl who's my 10, right? That means he went through the process, okay? Like clearly he's going on a date with a girl he's like really intimidatedly excited about. And I wanna get you guys to that level. There's a process you gotta go through to be like that, to be like my client, okay? And I wanna walk you through it because I was somebody when I first started out with my social confidence and dating journey when I was 24, 25, this is 11 years ago, right? My first girl left me for another man, heartbroken, starting at rock bottom in the gutter. The first girls I was starting to talk to or date, they weren't even anywhere near the caliber of my last girlfriend. And I didn't feel confident or even know how to talk to women like that. I went from that to teaching this stuff on an international level and helping guys start dating their 10s, right? So the very first thing I want to talk about here is any client I've ever worked with, when I sit down with them on our initial one-on-one onboarding call, and we go through what's going on in their day and their week in terms of actions, how many people they're approaching, how many women they're talking to, how many dates they're going on, how many conversations they're having. When I really look at the numbers, they're not interacting with enough people, period, right? If you want to start working your way up to more attractive women, the first two things, number one is you're not going to go from where you're at right now to your 10. Like if you're a dude who's a 5 or a 6 or a 7, you can probably start 1 point higher than yourself. And if you start going further and further, you can work your way up to like 2 points higher than yourself. But don't think that you're gonna stay a 3 and date a 10. The video is titled How to Level Up to More and More and More Attractive Women. It's probably not titled that exact thing, but that's the concept of the video, is that you're gonna work your way up, and through that process, you will also work your way up as a man, right? So the way that this starts is understanding that realistically, right now, you're probably only comfortable with a girl who's the same caliber as you. Or maybe if you're really unattractive, but you've had some success, slightly higher caliber than you. Now, you're not gonna jump from that and go up 3 points higher on women. Not to put women on a scale of 1 to 10, but for the sake of this video, that's what we're doing here, right? So you're gonna need to start to work your way up. Now, most men that I sit down with, they simply aren't interacting with enough people in their week. And I notice how I didn't say they're not interacting with enough 10s in their week. Although that may be true as well, that's not the actual metric that's needed to break through. Let that sink in for a second. It's not about how many 10s you talk to in a week. It's about how many people and just women in general you talk to in a week. Now, let me explain that, because realistically, if you walk around in your day-to-day right now, you're not gonna see that many women that are your true dream 10. Very, very few. I could actually walk around for hours, or in some environments, depending on the location I'm in, days or weeks, depending. I'm very picky. I like a certain type of look in a woman, and I've been to several different cities across the world at this point, going around actually looking for these type of women. And there are certain locations where I could, days or even weeks could go by without me actually really liking the type of girl that I want in my life, right? Now, it doesn't need to take that long, but I'm just using this as an example because if you're only tracking that metric, you're just simply not growing fast enough. And the way that you actually start to land more attractive girls, higher caliber women, is you start to feel more entitled and more confident with girls that are a little bit more higher level than you. So just for the sake of this video, let's just say you're a guy who's a 6 or a 7, right? Doesn't matter what level you're at, but let's just say for this video, you're a 6, right? And you're used to just dating 6 or 5, or maybe even none. Like maybe you're a guy that doesn't have a dating life right now. Instead of wondering how many 10s you're gonna talk to right now, I just wanna know how many people and how many women that you're talking to. And the majority of these can be in the 4, 5, 6, 7 range, because you just need to build the skill set for right now. You don't need to actually date the 10. We need to build the skill set. The way that you get up to benching 315 pounds is not going into the gym and trying to 1 rep max 315 right now, because you're at 135. And so you're saying, I want this, but my muscle mass is here. And so you don't just go to the bench and try to rep that. We're gonna start at a really low level until we can do 10 to 15 reps of that weight. And then we will do that for multiple sets. That's how you build the muscle, man. All right, so you wanna start working your way up. How many people are you talking to in general? Because if I go out into the world right now, if I do a 30-minute loop around Brickell, Miami, I'll probably see a couple hundred people. Maybe none of them will actually be my 10, but I'll see a couple hundred people. If you go to any mall, you go to any Whole Foods, you go to any downtown area, you go to any shopping plaza, you're gonna see dozens of people, right? And the good news is that you really only need 10 interactions in a day to really build a skill set. 10, all right? That's the good news. It's not 1, and it's not 2, and it's not 3. 3 is bare minimum, you're pretty much just doing maintenance, right? You wanna really build a skill set quick, let's say 10 a day. They don't need to be 10s, but you need to interact with 10 women, right? That's where you start. And the good news is that you could do this anywhere, man, anywhere. But once you start doing that, you will start to get confident with it. So if you're a guy who's the 6, and let's just say deep down, you really want like a 9, ultimately. Like dream is like a 9 or a 10, but you're a 6 and you've only dated 5, 6, or even 0 date, whatever. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start going out and talking to women that are of the same level as you, that you're comfortable with, and you're gonna actually try to have full-blown conversations with them. Because if you can't have conversations with them and make it flirty and get phone numbers and go on dates, how the fuck are you gonna do that with a girl who's a 9 or a 10? You can't. You have no proof of concept, right? And if you're a guy who's a 6 right now and you feel comfortable going up to 7s, that's probably because you were either once more attractive or you've been with a bunch of girls at your level and a couple of them were even above you. And so you showed yourself you could do that, right? Most of you haven't done that yet though. So if you're a 6, you're probably with a 5 or a 6, 4, 5, or 6. Some guys really like them lower, then they feel really comfortable. Some guys will have to get really drunk so that the lower ones look more attractive. Or they get really drunk so they don't have the limiting beliefs that they could actually go after these type of women. It's one of those things, right? But if you just go out and start talking to the girls that are 6, 7s, you do it 10 times a day, in a matter of a week, you will get really good actually, in 1 week. It doesn't need to take you months or years looking at content. You go out this week and you talk to 10 girls that are at the same level as you per day. In 1 week, you will start to see a lot of your sticking points. You will start to, because guys, getting the 10, it's all about your internal entitlement and your confidence level and your ability to run a conversation and make it flirty. You can practice that stuff on girls that are at the same level as you right now. That's why I said, if you go out for 1 week and just did this 10 times a day, at the end of the week, you'll already feel more entitled. You will feel more confident talking to girls that are at the same level as you. You start practicing with those girls, and then slowly you start to go up 1 point. The next week you go up 1 point. So if you're 6, you talk to 10 6 a day. Next week, start going up to 6s and 7. Do that for a week. If you could just literally commit to that thing, bro, you'll probably already start landing a date. Like if you could just do those things. Problem is I talk to most men, like how many girls do you actually go up and talk to? If they really pushed it, they did 5. And then they didn't do it for a couple more days, and then they went out, they did another 5. Right? And then their excuse will be, well, I'm walking around for a long time. I don't see the girls I'm attracted to. And I would tell you, hey, don't worry about the girls you're attracted to. Don't worry about the 8, 9, 10. Approach them when you see them. If you see the 8, 9, or 10, you still go for that. But that is just a 5% of the total opportunity to practice. You're literally waiting till the game is on the line to shoot and practice the 3. Steph Curry is in the gym. Kobe Bryant is in the gym. Whoever is your favorite basketball player is in the gym 12 hours before the game starts that morning, shooting 500 shots that don't mean shit, but at least they're getting their form ready. They're getting into the rhythm. They're getting to a place where they don't even need to look at the fucking, they could just shoot it. Then when the game's going, they're just in flow. If they haven't shot at all and now the game's on the line, they're like, oh fuck, I'm not warmed up, I'm not ready to do this, haven't shot for the day, and it's likely not gonna hit, right? So it's really as simple as just blasting more volume at a lower level. You wanna know how to get 8s, 9s, and 10s? Get really good with 6s and 7s. I know it might sound kind of weird, but you guys are you're afraid to go after the level that you're at because it's embarrassing, and so you want to go for the more attractive one, and the more attractive one's out of your league because you haven't put in the reps on the level that you're at. Whereas like if you just spent a month shooting 20 shots a day in the gym, your shot would be really good at the end of the month, and then we could put you into the game and you could probably make a couple shots. Hopefully the metaphor is hitting. That's what it comes down to. Now for me, I watched all the content and I couldn't get out into the field. I needed to hire coaches to hold me accountable, to hold my hand through that process. And then I started to take action, and then I started to realize, hey, I can actually do this, right? So it's easier said than done. Like I get maybe I'm simplifying it here, and I'm trying to do that to give you guys a little bit more hope to get out into the field. But I do want to also point out that like I couldn't do that. And I needed to hire a coach. And I have hundreds of clients that I've worked with recently where we will book out multiple calls for you throughout the week. We'll find the locations that you could go practice this stuff. And then we will walk you through on a live coaching call the process. Like we will actually say, hey, dude, we're going to start out with level 1. We show you the roadmap. We give you some easy phrases. We're coaching you in real time. And we give you the encouragement and the push to go and open. That's how we have guys that are first time ever, never did cold approach before, and they're actually starting to have longer interactions in a matter of a week, right? 2 weeks, I just made a video right before this one. My client never did an approach up until 2 weeks ago, just landed his first Insta date. He went up and approached a girl he was attracted to, and they had a long interaction on the spot that led to a phone number. That was a matter of 2 weeks. That's why I know maybe it sounds bullshit, like when I'm saying this video that you could progress this fast. It actually, like I'm not making these numbers up. We've coached over 1,000 guys. I've seen this actually happen with dozens and dozens of men. You can level this thing up quick if you don't just wait around for the 10. You start seeing everybody as an opportunity to practice, and you get out there and start repping this shit out, man, daily. Doesn't need to take that long. You don't need to walk around the mall for 2 hours waiting for that 1-9 to be there. You go into any area, you go to the gas station, there will be 2 or 3 people you could go talk to. Literally, that's an extreme example, I know, but I'm just trying to prove a point here, okay? So you gotta get out there ASAP and just start talking to people and get really good at interacting with women that are at the same level as you. When you get comfortable with that, you work your way up one step. And when you do this enough times, like if you're not progressing weekly, if you're not progressing per week, you are not taking enough action. It's that simple. If week by week you haven't made a progression, you're not taking enough action, in which case I would recommend having higher levels of accountability, more of a financial investment, more skin in the game, and more structure and more of a push to make sure you're taking the actions needed to actually break through to the next level. And if you want to work with me to actually do that, I'd love to help you with that. You could click the link down below. That's all for this video, fellas. Get out there, get the reps in, start working your way up, just like how I did, just like how my clients did. You can do it too. I promise you, man. I promise you.